Today we are going to discuss about the full load. Okay. Today our topic is the full load by using the metadata frameworks. Nothing but creating a configuration table like what we created for the incremental data load. And in the last two videos we did about incremental data loading, right? So incremental data loading is nothing but an activity to load a new coming data or updated data. Some of the real world examples are day to day you are doing the transactions using the phone pay or any UPIs. Okay, with your account related under your name related to your bank database, there is some database is created and your data is daily incremented. Likewise, if your bank is located in near any region, let's take the Hyderabad. Okay, in Hyderabad we have the number of branches for one single bank. Okay, like that there is day to day data is coming to the bank database. If you take the Zomato or any app, oh, okay, even you can take the point of sale systems like in KFCs, or any popular bakeries. Okay, they are getting the orders day to day, right? So that is called as an incremental loading table. Okay, we will give certain date in our configuration table, and we'll say to the our pipeline, okay, if the date is greater than or less than according to your condition, okay, load the data whatever it is possible. Now the full load concept comes here is the data, especially incremental data is useful for if there is any large data set presented over there, means 2 GB, 3 GB, 5 GB, 10 GB, sometimes TB of data. Okay, especially when there is a large data set, so that we will prefer the incremental. Full load is nothing but just take from the source, dump it into a destination, right? So full load can be performed for the smaller data sets, smaller data sets. Not only for that one, if you consider if you take the example of, suppose there is a bakery, or let us take any Domino's or Pizza Hut or whatever the famous bakeries are there, right? So there are employees. Will they take employees daily, regularly? Not. They will maintain some period, and according to it, they will take the employees. That is not the incremental data, right? And also the product information, products, products also they won't daily implement a new product. Okay, they will analyze the market at certain time, like, and they will implement a new product, and they will remove a existing product which is not selling. Okay, that is all the business cases. Okay, so our source will decide either this table is the full load or incremental load. Not only that, in a real project work, the client or the solution architect has to give a clarity for us, for the data engineers who are developing a data pipeline, like which are related to the full load and which are related to the incremental load, so that according to that we can create a pipeline. And also that's it. If there is any small data set you want to load and which is not going to be increment on daily basis or weekly basis, or go with the full load, just take it and dump it. And there is a large data set is there, especially the flight data. Not only the flight data, Indian Railway has been developed in these days, right? Every time we have to record the data, streaming data, Netflix, Hotstar. Okay, these are the incremental data. These are not a small data. There is a match is going on, almost 40 lakhs people are viewing the match in online, in a Hotstar, any streaming. 40 lakhs is not a small data, right? So these are the incremental data. Okay, it's all depend on the source, right? So today our topic is we are going to design a full load injection pipeline. Okay, so for that one, the same principle. What we did in incremental loading, we created a configuration table. Here also we'll create a configuration table. The reason behind this, You may ask some questions. Some people will ask the questions like, we have the parameters and we have the variables. Can I use the parameters and can I use the variables? And yeah, you can use. If there is two tables, you can use. If you want to load 20 tables, every time while triggering, you will sit there and you will going to give the pipeline, oh sorry, required columns and the required tables and all. It is not going to be possible at the production level. Once the orchestration or the pipeline you develop, that should be automated. In other words, it should be a dynamic way. Okay, the pipeline should keep on upon running. Okay, the pipeline won't wait for until you pass the parameter. Remember, the pipeline won't wait for the parameters you pass. Not only parameters, variables you pass. Okay, that is why we are creating a control table or a configuration table, so that in the configuration table, we are going to give the certain columns, required columns for our business use case. You can give n number of columns, like where is this? You can also mention last updated date. Okay, when was the configuration table was last updated? Like that, you can give n number you want, n number of things you want. Okay, it's all depend upon the business use case. And remember, not only that, in future, this is very, very important. Okay, need to copy the multiple tables from the multiple schemas. Then the configuration table will helpful for us easily. Why? Because just I'm going to give the schema name here, schema name, table name, fine. And also in future, you should able to copy more tables from the source system with the less development effort. Okay. Next, we should able to select the relevant columns while loading. Okay. Suppose you are getting the data from one table from the source. Okay. Generally, I consider here the SQL Server as the source. Okay. Anything the same procedure would be. Okay. Even you select the API, everything. Okay. Uh, Suppose there are 10 to 12 columns are there. Out of those, I don't want 3 or 4 columns. Okay. I just want, let us take the 10 columns are there. I don't want 3 columns. Okay. Then total 7 columns only I have to load. Is that possible with the parameters? Definitely not. Okay. Then here our configuration table will help us. You can mention what are the required columns do you want. That will only load. In future, if you want to add a new column, just give it that column name. Okay. This will describe about the source side. Okay. This is all about the source. Now come to destination. Here the destination, I am considering the Gen 2 storage or blob storage, whatever, ADLS in other words. Okay. So that here I am passing the destination container name, like staging. Okay. Destination folder name. I want to pass it with the table name what I am taking. Let us consider the employees. Okay. Like this, in a staging container, employees folder will be created. And destination folder, like employees.csv. Like that. Okay. This is the process. No, sir, I don't want to store it in a ADLS. I want to store it in a same Azure SQL. Then what should I have to do next? Remove these things. Remove these three. Okay. And just removing these three. And I am giving the target table. Okay. Target table. Simply, I will go to target table name. Suppose employees staging. This is my target table. This is my target. So this kind of flexibility the configuration is providing. This is how we are going to execute in the real world. Okay, not we are whatever we are seeing in the YouTube or anything. This is the fact. Okay. Those YouTube and all will helpful to pass the JNTU exams. Okay. So like what we did in incremental loading, we just look up on the configuration table and getting the information presented in the table. And then I want to load multiple columns and going with the for each. Inside for each, copy data activity. Simple 3 steps. Same thing here only in the full load. Now, some of the conditions will comes into picture like I want to load only one table. Then same lookup configuration and use the filter for the required table. Okay, filter for the required table, filter activity. And then for each, inside of for each, you can go with the copy data activity. Okay, this is how we are going to proceed now. Right. For the first step, go to Azure SQL, create a schema under the name of create config schema. Okay, first of all, create it. Then create a table. Okay, create a table. Yeah. Now I already created a table. Okay. Once after creating the table, insert the data into this configuration table or table data source. Okay. Here I am selecting the employees table. Okay. In DBO schema, and another one we will select sales.products. Okay. From the another scheme, so that we can understand how to work with the different schema. See, this is the employees table. We have only 3 columns: ID, first name, and last. Okay. Now, now let us take the select star from sales products. Okay. Now I need to insert into the configure table. Simple. Insert into config table data source values. Okay. What is our configuration table represents? Oh, sorry. Okay. Source ID, it's an auto increment. Don't worry. Okay. We need to give the source schema name. It is coming from the sales table, right? Sales schema. Okay. Table name is products, columns, destination container you want, destination folder, and destination file. Okay. So we'll pass the values. In a string, this is the schema name, comma, table, products, comma, then what? Source column names. Okay. For that one, run this query. Okay, product ID. In entire one string, give the column names. Product name, entry date. Okay. Once after done, comma. Then what next? Our container name. Okay, you have to give the container name. Okay. Container name is the stage. Destination folder, products, and destination file products.csv. Okay, this is how we have to insert the data into the configuration table, any table. Okay, this is the way. You can do the same thing in the ADLS also. Okay, you create one CSV file or a Excel file as a configuration file. Okay, do whatever we have done in the table. Same thing. Nothing wrong. But why I'm selecting the table mean I'm familiar with the SQL commands and all. Okay, that's why I'm selecting the table. Most probably, some companies will select the table. Some of the companies will go with the Excel sheets and CSV files. Okay, so this is how our configuration table looks like. We have two tables from two different schemas with two different column names. Okay, now we made it a dynamic way. No need to create a parameters for the columns. No need to create a parameter for the table. No need to create a parameter for the source schema. Okay, now we'll jump into the pipeline creation. It's the pipeline too. Okay, what is the first step? Create a lookup configuration. Create a lookup activity on the configuration table. Create it. Go to settings. Select the related data set which is pointing to the configuration table. Okay, so data set which is pointing to the configuration table. Now write a query. And one more thing, don't click on the first row. Don't click on the first row one. We want the values. Why? Because we have two more tables are there, right? Even though in future if may add a couple of tables, when you select the first row, you will only get the first row related information, the first table related information, not about all the data. Okay. Now go to query and you need to get the data. You need to get the related information of the configuration table. Okay. So we will write the query. We don't want the source ID. Source ID we require. Yeah, no problem. We can go with source ID. Okay. So select start from dbo dot, sorry, not dbo, config schema dot table data source. Okay, this is our query. Publish it. Yeah, working fine. Next word, for each activity means loop through the each and every value whatever coming out from the lookup configuration. Go to for each settings. Doesn't want the sequential. Okay, I want all the tables at the time. Lookup configuration value dot array. Okay, this is you have to set. Now create a dummy activity until publish has been done. Okay, wait, that's fine. Pipeline to done. Once after publishing done, click on debug. Yeah, successful. Now look here. Count 2 means we had two columns. Sorry, two tables. Source ID 1 represents the employees table, source column, destination container. Okay, just copy to clipboard. Just give me a minute. sorry, copy this record and place it in the notepad. Okay. That's fine. Now go to for each activity. Remove this one. We don't want it at all. Delete it. Now we are going to take the copy data activity to move the data from source to sink. Go to source. Now what is our source? It is obviously the configuration table. Why? Because in the configuration table only we are mentioning each and everything. Okay, that's what. We take in the data set config Azure. Okay. Use the query. Use query. Now we are going to say select required columns. Like what in SQL, what we are going to do in SQL generally, select A comma B comma C from table XYZ. Okay, this is how we are doing right in SQL while selecting couple of columns. Okay, if I want to select all columns, select star from table XYZ. The same thing here we are going to do with the help of the whatever the output coming from the lookup or for each. Okay, like select at the rate in forward brackets item dot whatever we given. I think we given source column. Yeah, source columns. Source columns from. Now the question comes. We have the two tables from the different schemas. Now I have to mention the schema name first of all. Okay, from rate of item dot source schema. Okay, dot, and you have to give the table name at the rate. If you won't put it in a flower brackets, it will throw the string error. Okay, that's why I'm putting it. Source table. Okay, this is the query. We need to pass it in the source. Okay, so that what will happen, even though if you pause, let me give clarity here. Now by this, you can pause stop, or else you can pause A comma B comma C, or else you can pause A comma B. So this kind of flexibility we given, okay, according to our business condition. Right. Copied. Okay, where is that one? Paste it here. Okay. Now go to sync. Sync. I think we did not create it. Yeah, we created a DS destination data set. Okay. I will show you how the data set looks like. We created a couple of parameters: container name, folder name. Okay. And then we need to pass the value. What we have to pass? Actually, here is this. In the configuration table, we already passed the container name. Now, these values we have to take. Okay. Like container name, right? For each item dot container item dot destination. It is not showing. Why? Let me copy it from here. Okay. Item dot destination. Remove the string quotations. Yeah. Item dot destination container file. Now item dot what we have given destination folder. Click on OK. Similarly for the file. Item dot. What is the value I passed there? Destination file. Okay. Destination. That's it. In the mapping, no need. Settings. Mapping. Go down. You can want to. If you want to see the logs. Okay. Click on enable logs. Okay. And you can give the storage connection like ADLS or Gen 2 or blob. Okay. What at where you want to store all your log details. Okay. Give that connection name and their container name. Right. I don't want to do this now because I don't need. Okay. That's it. Publish. Now go to pipeline. Okay. Debug it. Oh, this destination. Let me check this link to service. It's just the connection. Yeah, connection failure happened. So connection failure happened. We need to create a new link service. Okay. We create a new link service for Gen 2. Okay. Authentication type, auto key, no problem. From the Azure subscription free trial. Storage account name. What we have money 8483, right? Okay, fine. Create it. Successful. Now publish. Go to pipeline. Refresh. Refresh. Refresh it again. Or cancel. Cancel this operation. Okay, we will debug it from the starting. Let me add the trigger for fast execution. I think I have some network issues with the Wi-Fi. You can see the signal. You pipeline run. We got the success. Let's see the output here. Data written. Okay, no problem. That's not the we are looking for. Yeah. So let's start from the product activity, product name and all. Okay. Let's go to money 483 containers. Right. We created the staging. Products and employees. Products.csv. Now what I have done, what is the data we got it? Let's check the data. Okay, here the entry date I have it. Entry date. I don't want the entry date while loading. Now how I am going to process it? That is the thing behind it. Okay. Now go to configuration table and update the configuration table. Okay. And also, like I mentioned, this condition, adding filtering condition. Okay. Adding filtering condition all we'll discuss in the next video. Okay. This condition and also updating the configuration table for the required columns. Okay. That is what we are going to do in the next upcoming video. Okay. You can take it as a part 2.